Okay. Cat sound. Right. Test, test, test. There we go. Come on. What are you doing? That's me. Now let me pop over here. Pop out the chat. We're starting a little late today. I'm sorry, my sweets. Live chat. There we go. Bum bum bum. Possum. Got a few minutes in for the plane leaves. Oh no! Possum. Wonderful. How are you? How was your trip? I have so many things to hear about, I'm sure. So many questions. Love you so much, dude. Aw. Yay. Love you. Love all of my little sweets. Elsewhere in the world. At their little Under the Dice Fest. I'm sad that I did not get to go. Having the best time, homie. Man, yeah, no, I'm so glad. That's great. I absolutely meant to be up here earlier, but yeah, I definitely, as you can tell, my place is just covered in shit. I really have been going hard working on this castle. And I'll pick it up so you guys can see it. Also, it's beginning to look a lot like Grimbem. This is the gatehouse, the ruined gatehouse for Grimdale. This is the final, one of the final things like that we need to print, which I say that, and I think I have a building that I need to double check that I printed everything out for it. I don't know if I printed out all of the roadside in, but I will see. I will see, and I will make adjustments. But yeah, the last regular building outside of just the walls that I had to put together, I had to print, was the armory. And the armory is part of the wall, so there's that. I don't know how much of the wall I'm going to be printing out, because I started to think about this, that there's like absolutely no way I can have the entire wall on the board at the same time, like because it would be very big. So I need to figure out where the wall is, how big the wall is. I need to actually start drawing up the plans for the city. So we're at that point. Right now, Greeblin is printing out another tower for the wall. The towers, it uses the same towers for the castle walls as it does for the city walls, which I do like. However, that does make it to where I'm like, okay, the ruined tower in the ruined, and this is fine, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. The ruined towers in the Grimdale are the same for the corner. Like, so if I want to print multiples of these, I'm going to need to either flip them, or I'm going to need to do something to make them look different, because I don't want them to have the exact same damage. I'm going to turn these other lights on. It's a little dark. But oof, I'm also still kind of hobbling. Oh my goodness. Ooh-doo-doo. Ow. My little feet. No, I'm very, very excited that everyone had a great time. I don't have the dice. And I'm very sad that I didn't get to go. But I am very, very happy that everyone else who did get to go did. And I can't wait to hear about all the fun shenanigans everyone got up into. Everyone got up into them. I like that. I I've not hung out in the Discord. Next year you have to go. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. Kelly and I really planned on it this year, but things just didn't work out just with the changing career paths and everything. And yeah, hey, so that's glued now. And that is the gatehouse. So this is what this does not have. When you go into a big old castle or a town, like this is like the little place that you walk through and everyone's like looking down on you. They're like, hey, look at that guy. Who's this new weirdo in town? And I'm like, it's me. I think it's like I can move my foot. I can wiggle my toes now. And I can put weight on my foot. But, oh boy, we have entered the part where it now just feels like someone took a hammer to my foot. The whole thing is just really sore. I'm trying... I want to talk about the castle, but in order to talk about the castle, I gotta clean off all this stuff off my desk right quick. So, oh hey. I guess it would make more sense if I unmute the mic and then say what I was going to say. I was going to say, hey, since there's a huge pile of plastic like right here underneath the microphone, I'll mute the microphone and then clean up all that plastic. That way I'm not screaming in your ears while you've got a bunch of plastic being jiggled around. But I came up with that idea after I had already muted it. So yeah, I'm just going to keep doing that real quick. Let me get a different little baggie. That's not a good bag. These are terrible life choices. Oh no. All right. I didn't mute it. Wait, or maybe I did. No. Okay, I'm back. So I got a lot of things done on this castle this long weekend. Man, I'm trying to figure out how to do this without. I'm gonna pick it up like this. I'm gonna pick it up like a pizza. Try to get as close to that side as I can. So you all can see that I've done all the texturing on most of the sides. I'll take some pictures and I'll put them in the Discord, and I need to have the Predator cam set up for this kind of a thing for sure. But I'm really pleased with how it is looking. As I say, I don't think I'm going to clear the other camera. But I'm very pleased with how it's looking so far. The bricks going along the line of the sides and cutting the bricks smaller has made a massive difference. I think, man, I'm honestly debating just taking down the camera so I can show you a little closer. It's 654. Fuck it. I want to show you. So I don't have the Predator cam right now, so this is the next best thing that I can do. It's going to be removing one of these lens cameras, dropping it down, so you can see. And I think that's a good use of time, because otherwise you won't have any idea what the hell I'm talking about. And then that big thing that actually holds it in falls. All right. Give you a little peek of my setup. Unintentional angles. So, yeah. It's also upside down. Okay, yeah. Now you guys can see what I'm looking at. But this is... So the first wall that I did was this one. And I'm very pleased with it. I think it turned out really, really good. Yeah, okay. I want to zoom out, not in. So, yeah. Again, it started like this. Very big, very thick blocks. And then we watched... Shit, what did we watch this weekend? The Green Knight. A24's The Green Knight. I absolutely love that movie. It's a fucking vibe. If you're looking for a recommendation of like, hey, I've never seen this movie, I'm looking for a vibe. Let me say it's not a scary vibe. When I'm like, oh, it's a vibe, I don't mean Hereditary. I mean like this stuff. Like if you're looking for a movie that's like, man, I like Ink 28 stuff, Eli, recommend me a movie. I would absolutely recommend The Green Knight. It is a beautiful movie, truly a beautiful movie. But I really like the vibe. But yeah, so rotating around, wild movie. Yeah, no, truly wild movie. So yeah, I still have to go in on the insides and the tops of this guy over here, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out so far. This, I've actually done a little bit of texturing, and that was not just to add texture, to like kind of try some things out, but also as I'm cutting into this, it is crumbling and falling apart like a real bunch of rock. That's where all of that pile comes from. So, ooh, gotta adjust my foot. Right now I'm on this side. All these cables. So many cables. So yeah, this is the one that I was working on today, or not today, yesterday, this side. So pretty much I've gotten right about here-ish. That's where I stopped, and I'm moving on from there. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I don't know how much else. I've not given you all a little tour of the inside, that's for sure. So, yeah. There's the inside. Man, it would be a lot more fun if I put the lid on, wouldn't it? 1 second. Whoo-hoo. It's the getting up. That's the part that sucks. Like, I'm good until my foot has to like reassess itself. And then it's like, dude, no, I'm fucked. And I'm like, calm down. It's not even that bad. And it's like, all of my bones are shattered. Oh, I'm shattered. Yeah. It's so fucking rad. It's so good. Yeah. This is going to be great. I love it. I love how the light kind of comes in through the shingles, because I actually shingled them like an insane person. The amount of like pictures that are going to be fucking sick. Oh, that's sick. Thank you, my possum. I'm so excited. Yeah, I guess taking this camera down and letting you guys like see up close, that probably is something that I should be doing more often. There's that tree. So I took the tree off of its base because I am now trying to figure out if it should go here-ish. I'm personally, gotta lift this cable. I'm personally leaning, I spilled all the stuff on me. I'm leaning towards about here on the back. which means that when you look at it from the front, it'll look like that. I also had been thinking of putting it on the edge of the board. So like this, where it will be kind of hanging off the board with like roots and stuff, like kind of anchoring it. I got an airplane now. I got to check out. I can't wait to check out the pod, honey. No, wonderful. Drive, fly safe. Be very safe. As safe as you can be on an airplane, my possum. Much love. Much love and safe arrivals, my dearest possum. And all of my friends that are at Under the Dice Fest are traveling. I saw Atri made it down, which is fun. I love randomly running into Atri at the painting place, and now it's just like, welcome to this wacky and wonderful grimdark, like, weirdo hobby. I mean that solely just because it's just like, I assumed that they were not going to Under the Dice Fest before, just because, again, it's very niche. But if they were, fuck yeah. But I saw that Atri went and was telling me about it in the Discord, and I was like, fuck yeah. Man, okay, I've gotta like start rocking that, like putting that down, like, and actually messing with it like that a lot more, because yeah, that looks so much better than trying to like pick this up and like show you guys that way. But with all of that said, man, it looks even crazier now that I've undone these cables. Yeah, this area's, it's gotten a little bonkers in the past couple of days. But I guess I've just kind of been going kind of ham at it. Cut my leg. Actually, I think that was a bug bite. Some cheesecloth. Some cheesecloth. You never know when you're gonna need the cheesecloth. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Personally, I like cheesecloth a lot because you can use it for fabric. It's actually, not you can use it. That's like the 100% the reason that I keep cheesecloth. It also, let's see if we can get just a little bit of that pattern. Yeah. Get really close up on cheesecloth and you're like, man, that kind of looks like chain link. Chain mail, but fabric. So you paint it silver, bam, bada bing, bada boom, you got chain mail. Wear that out, you'll live forever. Take an arrow right to the chest, that cheesecloth, stop it, trust me. So, today, I need to talk about what I'm doing. I'm finishing up the sides, cutting bricks, and then probably, oh yeah, also, Wadata, Chapow. This is, Wadata, my dammy. This is the first documented case of me not using a number 11 blade, so I'm just going to go ahead and, for posterity reasons, yeah, this blade Fox, it's number 26. I don't know, never used it. I can't stress enough how much I don't fuck with any other blades other than the number 11 in like the hobby, like, kits that you'll like pick up from Exacto or whatever. Like, I don't, well, first of all, I don't use those. I don't use Exacto, so I have no idea how many of these in my house at this point, but they all are from my wife's grandfather, with the exception of one. I think I had one when I was little. No, I didn't. I think two. I had like two that I got from my buddy Alan. He and his brother both went to SCAD, and I'm pretty sure there is at least some part of one of their classes that, I mean, one of them is an architect. Like one of the best firms in the fucking country. Like, he's a very good fucking architect. But like they left a lot of the stuff from SCAD at our house. So like when we bought the house, it just kind of came with it. but in there was a lot of the stuff that he used for building architectural models, which was really cool. It would have been a lot cooler if I hadn't personally already also bought a bunch of those things, because then I'd been like, oh yeah, but then it just meant that I had like extra supplies and stuff. So that is where I got some of these blades, but I've never really messed with them because they are very clearly made for specific things, and for most model work that I do, a number 11 is just the best blade. It's anything other than that, and it's a matter of, it's kind of like when I talked about cutting away from you or cutting towards you, and they say to cut away from you for safety reasons, and that I agree. If you're teaching someone for the first time how to cut something, absolutely cut away from you, because that is the safest way. You're not going to get cut. However, if someone has learned how to use something and all of their skills with that thing are revolved around the way that they learned it, switching it up is actually a much more dangerous thing. Learning to cut away from you 37 years in, after, you've been whittling and carving and cutting things with pocket knives and hobby knives and scalpels your whole life, that is a much quicker way to get hurt really quick, trying to change how you do everything. And I understand the logic that people say when they're like, you should cut away from yourself. It's just like, yeah, I definitely should have learned how to do it that way. But at this point, it is just, I have more control over the blade, the way that I hold it, that I'm comfortable with. The reason I'm ranting about that, I don't remember. There was something that I was going on with that. It had to do with safety. Cutting towards yourself as opposed to away from yourself. I will still say, if you're picking up these habits, yeah, don't cut towards yourself. Man, I got the yawns because I'm sleepy. Maybe I do say that I'm sleepy a lot on these streams. If I do, at least you know I'm honest. Alrighty. I act like I just cleaned up my desk and it's barely even cleaned at all. So, another thing, I made a little caddy. Put a little handle on there. It's not completely straight, but it holds my drills, and it's got spots for stickers. I'm pretty excited about that. I think right here, it's probably going to get a big sticker that says choices. Tati. I want to say it's Tatiana. One of my favorite drag queens. But I've got a sticker of her going, choices. And I feel like it'll be really good on there. I like putting stickers on things. I used to not put stickers on anything. Now I put stickers on everything. But yeah. So before I pulled the camera down, another thing that I could have shown you would have been... Another thing I could have shown you would have been all these crazy trees. I got a bunch of crazy trees hanging from my ceiling. And I'll just kind of grab them so you can see what I'm talking about. Stuff like this. More of this. More of this. Just a whole bunch of this crazy tree shit hanging from my ceiling. Because I'm trying to figure out what trees, there is like an angle where like I'll pull my foot and like I can really feel it. And I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good at all. I'm really glad it didn't break anything though. Like, that is straight up very, very, very thankful that I did not break my fucking foot. Because that really could have things up here. So, this is one of my favorite trees that I've got. It's very big. It's actually, it's two. Well, yeah, it's two. So, I don't know what kind of bush this was. This was a... I don't know. I can't tell off the top of my head because of these. It might have been catnip. I don't know why I smelled it like this wasn't so dead. I smelled it like I might get even an inkling of catnip off of this. And that is maybe one of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life. So I'm glad that it's on film because, hot damn, there is no way in hell that would smell anything like catnip. It is so much. It's just a stick. That is just a stick. I've been trying it out for like a year. So yeah, it did not smell like catnip. I don't know why I smelled that. I think it's catnip. It's hard to say because the flowers, the way that the flowers like kind of curved up, but it's a dead plant. Yeah, that's for damn sure. All of these are, I say trees. They are. Well, let me rephrase that. This was a tree. This is the only one that was not a plant. This was a bonsai tree that died. So, pro tip: you're maybe not the best gardener. Hey, don't throw them away if you paid for them, baby. That's all I'm saying. And no, before that starts, I have never intentionally gone into a store and been like, I'm gonna kill that plant and use it. I've never done that, but that does sound like something I would do. I love bonsai. I need to show mine. I should sell mine. I've never put a picture of mine on Instagram or on Discord or anything. I have a bonsai that I've been growing for a couple of years now. But it is in a closed terrarium. So bonsai are, and this is, yeah, I'm just talking about bonsai for the book because I love bonsai. And because it has to do with these trees. This is a ficus. So it's a ficus. Ficus bonsai are really kind of the only one that I can grow personally because of where I live. I live in Kentucky, so I do not have a stable environment outside of my house, even remotely. Like, our weather is the single, like they say, like, oh, you don't like the weather, just wait a week. They make that joke in Kentucky, and by they, I mean damn near everybody, especially people that are recently moved to the area. They love to make the joke because they're just like, oh man, I get it. And it's just like, you don't get it. You think you do. When it starts snowing in the middle of the summer, that's when you understand. It's our because of where we live and elevation and all the things, it's a wonky fucking place when it comes to weather. So we get all 4 seasons sometimes in 1 week. It is not uncommon even remotely for in the winter for it to be 70 to 80 degrees one day, snowing the next. Like, it's just, we live in a goofy part of the world. And that makes hobbying outside difficult at times for me. And I think it's because I'm very hung up in the processes and the orders of operations. I need to know when to do what in order to get the results that I want. So putting any of that in the hands of like Mother Nature is just, ugh. But at this point, I mean, with that said, I use rattle cans, like spray paints, more now than I ever have. And I have an airbrush setup that I can use in my house. So what that tells me is, one, I've learned a little bit more about my craft, and two, they're also making better products. I think really learning though, because I feel like had I known at the time all the things I know now about using, like, primers, like, I don't think I would have ruined as many models as I had, and I don't think that would have put as many, as much of a bad memory or bad taste in my mouth for rattle cans. Yeah, I'm very pro. At the end of the day, the absolute pro tip: rattle cans. If you're using spray cans, water bath for like 10 minutes, maybe. They say 10 minutes. if you, seriously, I just take a picture. I have a picture, like, hey, we're gonna make some sweet tea. We're gonna make lemonade. We're gonna make whatever you make and you drink, Kool-Aid. I don't know. You get your pitcher and you fill that up with hot water. Go to the sink, fill it up with hot water. You want this to be warm. I say hot because I know how long it takes me to get from my sink to the fucking back 40 of my backyard. It takes a while. So I will fill it up with hot water because by the time that the water in my house heats up to be hot, it actually is going to produce a pitcher that is like, it's not hot, but it's warm. It's not just warm. It's like, okay, yeah, this is kind of uncomfortable. You want it to be, you don't want it to be boiling even remotely, but you don't want it to be, you want it to be just above where you're like, this isn't really comfortable for me. You just want it to be warmer than the rest of the air around it, and you're going to stick the paint down in there, in that water, and that is going to make your spray paint better than any shaking will ever do. And you still want to do that, but you still want to shake it. But holy shit, the like hot water bath for spray paint is a game changer. I've not had a single model be fucked up. I've not had a single thing. Let me rephrase that because I love spray paint. I spray paint stuff. Hi, Timothy. How are you? Good morning. Greetings. Welcome. I'm rambling about spray paint. I've got to do some spray painting soon, but I was doing it, talking about, man, I don't remember why I got on the subject of spray paint. It had to do with painting. Maybe learning things. Might have had to do with blades. I've not messed around with other size, like other shaped hobby blades, even though I've owned them like so many different kits for forever. And the first time I've used one that was not a number 11, I am good, flying away from under the ice vest, so a bit sad. Oh no, I am sad to hear that. Possum also just departed from the Under the Dice. I am bummed that I missed it. It seemed like a lot of people had a lot of fun. It seemed like everybody there had a lot of fun. But no, that's wonderful. I absolutely hope to go next year. I plan to go next year. Let me rephrase that. Kelly and I both plan to go next year. Yeah, we just saw each other there for it. Aw, yay, fun. Oh, you two, man. Seeing everybody going under the dice just makes me miss everybody. Makes me miss Adepticon, all the homies. Fun times. I'm excited because someone picked up. I got my tickets and my shirt stuff handled, and then I was kind of bummed because I was like, man, I paid for a shirt, so I want a shirt, but I didn't go to Under the Dice, so I don't like to be the guy that reps some that he didn't go to. But then Greg was just like, would you like a Flames of Orion shirt instead? And I was like, yes, Greg, fuck yeah, because I'm really all about Flames of Orion now. So, but yeah, here we are. I'm trying to think of what to cover. I've got a whole bunch of shit. I saw a bunch of guys from the Louisville area. Makes me want to visit you guys. What? Who is from the Louisville area? Oh, man. I bet. So Brian, I know Brian is. Brian and Clay. Clay is Indiana, so he's across the bridge. He's upper Louisville. He's northern Louisville. Brian, yes. Brian is such a sweetheart. I love Brian. I would love to we need to hang out with him again. And Clay and everybody. Stephen Shankly. I've not met Stephen. The only one from Louisville that I've met is Brian, which is wild again because I'm like 30 minutes from Louisville right now. Which is, yeah, the same thing like with meeting Brian and the rest of the guys in like the Karstic domain. It's just like, I cannot stress enough how much it sums me as a human up that they're just like, yeah, there's not really anyone that lives in Kentucky, and they're just like, oh wait, no, RedWetSkeleton. Like, yeah, I've been around in the scene for a little bit. I'm from there. It's just, I don't talk on the internet. I don't go outside. I don't do shit. So yeah, that was really exciting. Shankly has a brush. Okay, I will have to look up Shankly. I need to pop back in that Discord. I perpetually am fighting with like all the things that I'm like, I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this, and then I'm just like, I'm supposed to go and talk to people still and act like a human. But no, that's so exciting. I really need to get the Predator cam. Not a cam to help me catch predators, but I don't talk on the internet. Says the guy is doing live streams on YouTube. Okay. I used to not. Let me rephrase that. I stream on the internet. So I am on the internet. I don't talk on the internet. I talk on the internet every day for at least an hour, into the abyss, or at people that I'm so thankful that they listen to me. And after that, like, pretty much the moment that I get off of this stream, there's like two kinds of days that I have. I have days where I'm like, I will hang out in the Discord and I will talk to people about what I'm doing and I will keep engagement up. And then I have days where I'm like, okay, we did that yesterday. Today we turn off the fucking computer and we finish making bricks for hours. So that's what I did this weekend. Is anytime pretty much I was not about to board. Love you, dude. Love you, Tim. Drive safe, fly safe. I know that you guys don't have really any control over that, but yeah. Safe flights, safe travels. It was wonderful, wonderful talking to you all. My boys. You know I love you, even with your feathers. For those of you who are not familiar with Always Sunny, that is my favorite character. I did not grow up watching wrestling. My wife did, which I love. I did not grow up watching wrestling. I was forever soft boy, always soft boy. So wrestling, none of that. Shit, where was I going with that? Rowdy Roddy Piper. I never was a wrestling guy. So when I get really pumped about wrestlers, it's like only because of the small amount of information that I have about wrestling and the complete lack of context, and then building my own adventures from that, which I know that has to upset some people, that I do that with things. But it's one of my favorite ways to enjoy media of any kind. I gotta say, Fast and the Furious is definitely on my list to enjoy like that. Like, I've only seen the first one, and I really want to start like mixing it up. Like, next one I watch will probably be like the fifth, and then like the last one, and then I'll go back to watch the second one. But I really and just trying to piece together what the fuck happened, because like I know that there's a very big disconnect, and somewhere in there it goes from being like I'm all about stealing cars and helping my family to like we are straight up robot cyborgs that throw cars at each other now, and I don't know anything about what could possibly happen between the two, but I love the idea of trying to make that connect in my head, and it's that kind of a thing. That's where I was going with that. I am going to show you something that I'm kind of excited about. And it's on the same kind of page of board stuff and planning stuff, because we have so much stuff printing for Trench Crusade and whatnot. It's going to take a long time to put all that together, and I'm thinking that the next board that I'm going to do after this one is going to be for Necropolis. I was talking to Owlshield, Peter, the creator of Necropolis himself, about my goals, and he was wonderful and kind enough to send me some files. So I am going to be diving into those. I have not had a chance to look at them today, or to look at them since he sent me them. I take that back. I did look at the Lich, and I was like, fuck yeah. I'm so pumped to make stuff for Necropolis, and Flames of Orion. I'm so pumped for all these games. All of my friends are making like dope fucking games, and I just want to make really sick models to like get people really pumped about their games. So I'm pretty pleased with the castle. I gotta say, it looked a little wonkier before I really started carving the bricks. But now that I've carved them, I'm like, oh man, this looks so fucking sick. This looks so fucking sick, mate. Well, first of all, but yeah, I haven't even looked at it with like the sticks and stuff like next to it. But man, that thing looks so fucking good. I already know. Yeah, there's a very key part when I was taking my hobby knife and scratching these bricks in there for hours, where I was just like, I just couldn't stop smiling because I was like, man, this looks like a fucking real castle, like the side of a real castle. And once it's painted and once we get the moss and stuff growing on there, chef's kiss, BBE. The tree. So the reason that the tree is not on there, and the reason that I didn't cover that, I have so many trees hanging from the ceiling. The reason is because I'm trying to figure out which type of tree I want to go with. And I'm saying that because I kind of showed you, I'll show you this one again. This is a different part, but it's from the same tree. Same bush. Let me rephrase that. It's going to kill me trying to figure out what kind of bush this was. It might have been, I don't think it came from my mom, but I might have gotten this from my mom's house. I don't think I did though. So yeah, this is a bonsai. This is a ficus bonsai. I never finished that. Ficus bonsais. What I was talking about, ficus bonsais. I live in Kentucky. Bonsai, despite what people think, a lot of people do not know this. Bonsai, traditional bonsai, when you think of a bonsai tree, you are almost certainly thinking of a juniper, or something along those lines. You're thinking of a deciduous, a evergreen, little tree. It looks like a little pine tree that someone has cut and shaped to make a very, very pretty little tree. So I can't have those. I can't have those for a couple of reasons. They need full seasons. They need real seasons. And you constantly see them in. So if you are watching this, you probably see them the majority of time in anime. And you will see them inside of buildings in anime. Or in pop culture, you will see them inside of a building in movies and shows. In actual real life, like you can't keep those inside. Like in Japan, they are not kept in the house all the time. They go outside. Depending on the time of the year, they have to have a dormancy period. They have to. If you do not give them that, they will not survive. All things are different. But I don't have the environment. I don't have the ability to create an environment in my house and outside that I am confident enough in to care for a tree like that. So that's why I do not have one. I have ficus, because a ficus is not a deciduous tree. Or a conifer? I'm pretty sure I'm saying that correctly. I might have fucked that up and I might have done it backwards. Deciduous. Shedding its leaves annually. Yeah. No. Fuck. I think I did fuck that up. Means some things fall off or not in a specific stage of growth or season. I can refer to leaves, antlers. Yeah, no, coniferous. Coniferous. Okay. So I said that the opposite. This would be a deciduous. The other ones would be coniferous. Conifers. Conifers have little cones, they have little needles. Evergreens. Conifers. Evergreens are conifers. This would be a deciduous tree. So this is a deciduous tree. It does not have needles. It does not have cones. It is very, very, very interesting, and I like them a lot for a couple of reasons. Number one, they are really the only kind of bonsai that I can keep in my house year-round, and that is because they can exist inside of a closed terrarium. I have a terrarium upstairs that I have had a ficus in for a couple of years now. I don't know. I need to look up and see how many years, but I really like it. I've been training it I mean, again, for years. But the thing about ficus that I really like is that if you raise the humidity in their enclosure enough, they start to produce air roots, which is really, really, really cool. But that is essentially where roots start to come out of the branches and they trail to the ground. You mainly will see these in, like, when you think of like the South America, like the Amazon River, the mangroves. Like when you think of mangroves are the number one thing, I guess. But trees that love humidity and moisture, where their roots can, like, I don't know, that's just so cool. The ability for a tree to start growing roots, not where the roots are, but like out of its body, and it does that. So you have to achieve a 90% humidity in the enclosure to get it to do this, and essentially it will start to sprout these little. They look like little white. They look a little like fuzzy, like little white fuzzies, and then slowly they just start to stretch into roots. But I'll take some pictures to share on. I don't think I'll put them on Instagram because I don't think a lot of people will really want to see that. But I'll put them on the Discord just so people can see what mine looks like that I actually have kept alive in its little terrarium. It's got lots of roots. When Guts passed away, my black orchid beta that was named after, of course, the Black Swordsman, which in turn was part of a stoner doom metal band, or not doom metal, it was stoner rock. It was a stoner rock band called Guts, named after my fish, named after the Black Swordsman from Berserk. So he is actually buried inside of that terrarium to be a source of nutrients for the tree. I find a lot of peace and comfort in that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit of ranting about me and trees and things like that. What I was trying to get at, and by bringing these back over here, is I need to pick out what type of tree is going to be here. So, man, it's going to drive me crazy trying to guess what this bush was. I really think it was a butterfly bush. I think it was a butterfly bush. Or something along those lines. But I very, very much love the way it feels. It's got a good feel to it. But this is definitely not a full part of the tree. This is just a part that broke off of the main part. But yeah, trying to decide between style types. That's obviously, you put this down there, it's going to look much more like a big oak, an elm. This is going to look more like a thin, like birch tree. Whereas this is like, an old, gnarled, like hanging tree. So really trying to figure out what kind of environment, what kind of trees are going to look best around this. And I think I'm leaning towards the birch kind of looking ones. I think this is too, and obviously when I'm talking about this, I'm not going to put this whole fucking like stick on there. We're going to cut. We're mainly looking at the main parts of the trunk, this base. So we're mainly looking at from like here down. All the rest of that we can cut and we can do whatever. But like this main part of the body, that would be our tree. And that would look really good. Just kind of, but I get the impression we need to keep scale in mind. So this is the size of a person. I'm trying to think of trees. Yeah, I mean, it would almost, I feel like this tree, using this as a tree on here would be, it's too big. I think there's too much development of it. I think this, so looking at them, you can kind of see a similar shape. However, there's this just very clearly, it got much taller. So much more of the growth is up here. There's not as much in the middle. And we could absolutely alter that. We could alter that and try to, cut, glue, and piece things in where we need them. But if we're still in the visualization process, that that's not really the time to do that. And it's, I very much have been thinking that it was going to be, they just look right. I think they just look right. Personally, like, I think if I got that right about there, there's just something about the birch trees that I feel like look like they would be around this kind of castle. Very tall trees that are not capable of sustaining, like if you tried to climb this thing, it would just like bend or break. You're gonna have to like cut them down, make a ladder. This is like an old hanging tree in my head, and I see this like up on a hill. Same thing, I guess, with those bigger ones. But I definitely, in my head, I see this as a big focal point. And the only place that I'm like, man, I might put that here would be on the side of the board, but I don't want it to be an afterthought. And I'm trying to keep in mind, while I really love the idea of having a tree hanging off the side here with like some corpses hanging out of it. I might still do that. I don't think I will, though. I think that's going to be too much. I think I already have a lazy Susan, so I'm already asking players not to be too distracted and not to spin it too fast. But having a tree on the edge of the board where you have to touch that has a couple free hanging corpses is, I think, asking a little too much. I think that thing would get spun way too fast, and I think that would break. And I think also during gameplay, I'm thinking it might get broken. But as I'm spinning this and looking at it from different angles, God, that tree would look so rad there. So, I don't know. I'm really kind of hung up on what to do with it. A lot of options. Oh yeah? What do you think, Margot? Well, yeah. So, last thing I was going to say, and this was about Necropolis. I talked to Peter. Necropolis is made on a 16 by 16 board, so I am really stoked. I have been saving these. I'll move the board. I'm going to move this guy, that way I can put those down, you can see. Look at my butt. Okay. So these, I'm pretty excited about. I've been holding on to these for a bit. I don't remember what we ordered that had these in there. It might have been, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to guess it probably. Little square box. Where? Wasn't my printer. Wasn't that printer? I don't know. We ordered something. But it came in this little package. So I have been holding on to these because I thought, man, I really like the way that these look. And not to, any tools of the trade like giving out, but this kind of stuff is really, 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 really good for very quickly making terrain. Johnny, Whichever Studios, hallowed be thy name. Brother in arms, is a very big fan of using this kind of stuff. A lot of packing material. So I wanted to show this one because I'm really excited. I've been trying to figure out what to do with both of these since I got them, because they're a very specific size. They are not everything else that I was doing. I used 12-inch squares, so these are 14 and a half, almost 15 inches. Yeah, 14 and a half across. So too big for a 12-inch, too small for a 2-foot board. Margot, I'm coming, hold on. But very, very, very good. If I built a 16 by 16, I could just sit this inside, got a little bit in the middle on the edges. 1 second, Margot. This is going to be a reservoir, so a lot of water, standing water with walkways over top of it. Margot, with that said, I'm being told aggressively that it is time to stop here. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Everyone, Margot, young lady, I'm coming. You are being so rude. I know. Possum's going to be upset. You're going to hurt Possum's feelings and Tim's and Eric's, everyone's. We're going to go make coffee. I love you. All right, kids. My sweets, thank you so much. As always, she's driving me crazy. Yeah, I'm going to go make coffee. Take care. Safe travels for all of those who are right under the dice. Get home safely. So, yeah, it's pretty. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.